Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So here we are again, once more, and until the breach, I suppose we shall go. Now, we do have a rough plan for what we're doing next turn, which is really good, actually. It's going to be a very interesting case. I mean, like I said in the last stream, I think I've overreacted to the situation here. The plan that Monkey suggested is really quite a good option. I think it's one of the best options that we could have taken it, really. Just because at the end of the day, it is inevitable that they will more than likely come under attack by the ships there. So, I suggested, why make it easy on them, really? And that does make a lot of sense. Sorry here. I've just been now spraying some models this this evening with some primer. It's kind of gone, it's kind of got on the back of my throat here at the moment. So, just trying to work through the pain. Okay, so, I mean, there is a way we can try to organise this, and I think we'll have to do that. So what I'm going to do here, then, is I'm going to reset all the patrol zones. I want to make sure that they are going to, like, yeah. So what I'm going to do, then, is have them initially head for Bellop, and we'll make our way up from there. At least this way. Yeah, but at least in this circumstance, they're not going to spread out randomly as such. There'll be a little bit of overlap, but not terribly large amounts. But the main part here then is, to some degree, we kind of have to use them as bait, and manage to actually draw the USN force towards. Well, then again, it could be USN, it could be Aussie, to be honest, as well. Actually, that's something. Okay. Now, of course, there are faster ships than others. I do need to avoid the mines over here, so the good news is we can move through here without going through the mines. So that's very handy. So we'll have the actual ship spread out. Then we'll start going back down. And there we go. I mean, we do have important ships moving at full speed. The good news is I can try to make use of the actual coral reefs as well to try and, try and split up the enemy force. We will have our H6K4s. They're hopefully going to have a crack at it, which is going to be very good. I mean, their skills aren't exactly grade A. They're not really, excuse me, sorry, that primer's still at the back of my throat. Yeah, they're not exactly naval torpedo bombers. It's like, of course, they are trained to function in that role, but obviously it's not the thing that they're primarily trained towards doing. And they're not carrier torpedo bombers, you know what I mean? It's like asking a reconnaissance guy to go out and, well, somebody who's trained in reconnaissance and primarily flies reconnaissance flights, and just saying to him, look, mate, I'm going to have to ask you to go and fight some of these F4Fs. Just do a good job. It's just like pushing them into another role that they're not really particularly suited for. And we do have a few patrol boats here. The best case scenario is they tie up the enemy's attention, and ideally they can absorb a few shots. I mean, I don't imagine many of them will make it through, but we'll have to see. Yep. This won't take as long to do either. Now, after this battle, I mean, this is a thing. It's going to be interesting to see what happens after this. We know he had another cruiser force, and obviously that is one that we did inflict damage on. Sometimes I'm not entirely sure. Right, previous page. I think I've already done these ones. Yeah, they're already done. They're already done. Okay, here we go. Yeah. I mean, of course, we did see that he had another cruiser force beforehand. Now, that did engage with the Fiji cover force, and surprisingly, and, well, rather unremarkably, the cover force kind of underperformed there, didn't they? But it's not all doom and gloom, at least they're out of the area. Okay, I might just leave these other guys on, considering that, yeah, they're generally spreading out in the right direction anyhow, so that's fine by me. I'd have to be scrolling back and forth constantly. Okay. What I'm going to do here then. Surface. Yep. We could do like a line really to try and cover the actual transports. And it would obviously be quite nice should the vast majority of these patrol boats survive, because they're going to be important for security here in this area. They will have uses. I want to try and saturate the area. Really try and play up every possible approach that he might take, every sort of angle he might move. Just try and get in the way, really. Hello there, Carl. How you doing there, my friend? Good to see you again. There we go. And they're set to react as well. So that's good. I also do have this patrol boat over here. I do have the Amagiri, but the thing is with the Amagiri, it's a damage destroyer. She can still make 25 knots, don't get me wrong, but the thing is, she's damaged. I'd rather her survive. She's got good ASW, she's got very good AA, she's a very useful destroyer. So what I'm going to do then is have her disband into the actual port itself. Hello there, Keith. It's good to see you again, my man. Glad you guys are doing well. I am out camping right now, but I want to say good luck with the cruisers. Oh, Carl. Nobody predicted that. It's like you can say, oh, he's going to send something, but we've already seen that before. And we've done everything to try and prevent it. It's just one of the cases of we're very much on the limit of our lines here. This is like as far as we can reasonably go. It will become easier. It's like, for example, had we taken Rabal and then moved our way down here, obviously we would have had much more in the way of support. But obviously we've gone straight for Luganville, and then we're going straight on to New Maya. And Comac in general. You made me come to Twitch, I don't care for Twitch. No, I appreciate it, my man, I really do appreciate it. It's just that Twitch is just so... yeah, it's really a lot better when it comes to actually using the time that I would use on YouTube. So it's like, it would be highly appreciated if you were to follow the channel here on, well, on Twitch. Really appreciate it. That, and I mean, when it comes down to the subscriptions, like a single subscription, I do believe of tier 1 is $5. Now, out of that, I make, well, I gain $2.10. Now, to give some context, it's like, to earn 71 pence on YouTube, I have to get around about 1,000 views. So it's just like one subscription is just worth so very much. Really makes a massive difference in supporting the channel, to be honest. It is making it easy. It means I can actually do a lot more with it and really try and do things which is fantastic. So it is appreciated. I appreciate your sacrifice. Okay, so I've got the oilers to go ahead and refuel over here. I'm kind of tempted to go ahead and refuel the main body here, but the main body does have a decent enough amount of fuel here. They certainly have enough fuel to make it through another turn of movement, I reckon. So that's quite good. It does mean that one carrier is left behind here for the time being, but it will be fallen up behind once it is refueled, so it's still going to be within cover, really. I mean, the time for repairs will be sometime in the future. We will actually be able to hit this force next turn. That's going to be quite good. Knock out his transport ship and these two cruiser mine layers. They're not worth a terrible amount of points, but at the end of the day, just anything that we can knock out in this area is worthwhile. And will more than likely return then to hit Australia. I'm going to be interested in hitting the infrastructure. So he might even be moving his damaged warships actually. So what I'm going to be doing then is actually patrolling up and down the coast between Brisbane and Sydney here. Have you found more views on this or YouTube? I get a hell of a lot more viewers on YouTube itself. But the actual reward for streaming is a hell of a lot better on Twitch. But this is it, it's like I stream on Twitch and then upload to YouTube, so it's like the best of both worlds really. Which is quite nice. I get to speak to you guys, which is awesome. Now, I do have a very nice cover force here. At least for the, for the Oilers. And the good news is, of course, we do have the protection of the Kitabutai, so there's a lot more destroyers in this area than there normally would be. Obviously, just escorting this one force, which is quite good. Yeah, so they're going to refuel the Kitabutai, and then at the moment they'd head to Truck. What I'm going to do then is actually tell them to head to Ballop alongside the carriers. The reason being, obviously, it keeps them close together. I do benefit from having the increased amount of seaplane search capacity over here, and just obviously more warships on station is always a good thing. What I'm going to do then is actually tell them, yep, low threat threshold, which is fine. Yep, okay, so they're going to head north then towards Ballop after refueling the single carrier. Just trying to think how else we could do this, really. I think this is generally going to be the best thing we can do here. I mean, we do have the Kitagusa. She's obviously going to be heading out this way, looking to make contact with the enemy force over here. And, let's see. It's a shame they weren't in a port. I could have then potentially changed over the commander. And if we take a look then, so we have Captain Sawa Masao. His naval ability is actually quite impressive there, 73, his aggression's 59, okay, so it's fairly balanced actually. Yeah, but you can see here the experience at night as well. I'm half tempted to have them move on full speed, but then again, the reason why we don't have to do that is, once they do detect the enemy, they are going to move at full speed towards them anyhow, so that's fine. What I'd like to do is actually engage them at night. If I can engage them at night, we can actually use our superior night fighting experience at this stage in the war to actually ideally score a victory. Let's take a look at our real weapons here. So we are not 100% on torpedoes. We have had some used. Not many though. Yeah, okay. Ikazi has used her torpedoes. But Yuzuki and Mokuzuki, they still have their torpedoes. The Kinagusa actually has more torpedoes here available. Yeah, they carry 6 of them, but they only have 1 launch there. The Kinagusa have a cruiser, has 4 on each side, and she has the ammunition to launch them twice, which is quite good there. So we do have that rearmament, which is actually very important. Hopefully we'll be able to make the most of that. We do have 6 200mm guns then, that's going to be good. We do have the 12cm guns here as well, on the right side, left side. I'm just gonna hope that we can make use of it. I mean, I'm hoping that Kitagusa will not come to blows. I'm hoping that she won't be damaged too much. But there's always that chances in there. Let's move this out of the way. Ideally, she'll be able to give a good showing of, well, give a good showing for herself, really. That's all we can hope for. Okay. Now, I do have a submarine over here, I-169. She's very low on fuel. But she still might be of use, actually. What I'm going to do here, then, is she's going to remain in just this area. So I'll place her on patrol. Tell her to just this area here. In fairness, what I'm going to do is actually turn the reaction down to 0. Basically, she'll only react to what's in this hex. Now, she does have some small amount of endurance. I think this is about the best we can do here. We've got the Hastings K4s actually set to naval attack as well. I do have a submarine over this way. Now, her endurance is 794, so she doesn't have a huge amount of endurance there. She could be sent over this way, but the nature of the beast here is that she only really has the endurance to make it to Luganville, so I can't really afford to have her head out this way. It's unlikely that she'll come into contact with anything. Obviously, it would be nice to try it, but yeah, it's not really guaranteed. Now, I do have the additional submarine over here as well, so what I'm going to do then is actually have her head north to that area there. That's not a bad idea. She's set to 1 reaction as well. Yeah, so she'll react within 1 hex of that area. So, what I'm trying to do here then is engineer a scenario where we can just try and just annihilate this force here. I mean, it's a case of we might lose some transport, we might lose a couple hundred men, maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000, something in that sort of region, equipment, tanks, whatever you want to name it. But that can be replaced. Granted, it can't be replaced in the immediate future, or potentially even in the medium term to a degree. It will strain the industry to a certain degree, obviously vehicle-wise, but we can afford that. The good thing to bear in mind here is that when we do destroy this force, he's not got an infinite amount of power in this area. And it's not going to be often that we actually get a chance to do this. I think he's I think he does believe that I think he definitely believes that he's going to be able to make it out of this okay. Obviously the first time he was able to do that. Now this time things are going to be slightly different. We do obviously have H6K4s over here on station. Ideally they can land a hit, but we do have far more naval search than we did before. Also, the Kidabutai is going to move in towards this area. She's always just a little bit out of reach, and he's not daft. He knows when to actually push things. But she's going to head up north. And the thing is, she's either going to attempt to make a break for Fiji down here, or she's going to attempt to make a break for Australia. I think probably what he's going to try to do here then is actually make a break towards Fiji, but that's fine. Once we land our men here, that's all we need. I'm going to take all the shipping and get it the hell out of here. This island has all my attention here at the moment. So I do have a landing force over here. Obviously he is well aware of that. So there's a danger to this. It does have a decent amount of protection though. I mean, that is quite a few destroyers there. We also do have 2 destroyer minesweepers, some AMCs as well. It's not a bad little force there. I still have a few thousand tons of supply to offload here, which is important. At the moment, yeah, we only have 195 tons of supply here, so I need more. Okay. It's a shame that I can't begin building fortifications here. It's technically not a base. I'm going to have to get some engineers if I want to turn it into a proper base, I do believe. Okay. Yeah, that patrol boat's headed out there. They're going to be heading into port. I do need them to offload there. I'm going to set their home port to Luganville as well. Make sure that, obviously, when they do run away, they know where to go. Right, low threat threshold. Yeah. So they're still not cracking on fuel, but it's not too bad. In fairness, I think I might have them move north. Probably a better idea of that. So I'll cancel that destination. I'm going to have them, we'll have them move north out of reach. Ideally out of the battle there. And then they can head back to Luganville. I do have other assets over here. Yep. Are you still unloading? How long is that going to take you? Right, there's 3 75mm guns over here. Okay. Not too bad, really, not too bad. And once those guns are unloaded, obviously they can head up to truck catcher, which is going to be really, really quite nice. And I still don't know where his actual carriers are. I mean, I've got a feeling that he's either got them heading north, or... I mean, this is it. I mean, are they heading north? Let's take a look at the actual map here. Are they heading to the north? Are they heading towards the home islands, as we might fear? Are they over in this area? Are they down here? Now, personally, I think he's going to be somewhere down in this area down here. The reason for that is it would make sense. Obviously, he's pushing this area. I mean, I don't know, it's hard. I mean, he could even try to make a push over here in the Central Pacific. The thing is, if he does that, it's... What reward is he really going to be looking for? And it does put him in a very delicate position, puts him in a very interesting position. We'll have to see. We saw that he raided Midway. We did actually hit the Oklahoma here last time, so that was really good. Right, we're going to have these submarines return. It's all well and good actually trolling around Pearl, but the thing is, I need to get these submarines back and rearmed. I need them to have their pilots, I need them to have their planes replaced, I need them refueled. I could do with some fuel being sent to the Marshall Islands actually. I am getting that ready now as we speak. Okay, you could do with being sent on patrol actually. Do you still have all your submarines? So then, how you doing there, my friends? We've lost a couple submarines over the course of the game, but not terribly many. Not terribly many. It's not been too bad, really. Now we go patrol those areas. Okay, you're loading fuel. I'm gonna have you refuel here while you are here. Yep, so replenish from the port. I suppose they don't have the operation points to do that. That makes sense. The ACM's over here. I'm gonna disband them actually into the port. Okay. So I do have the key new. And I do have a couple of other destroyers there. Do have another destroyer here as well. Merge them in together. What does that mean? Right, troll boats are here. Nikashai. Akashi. She's very good. Question is how to really use her. I mean, she might be just used towards the actual, maybe towards the actual central lines. Try and keep her safe, but then again, there's not really any sort of safe area. So, I mean, she does do a great job of fast transporting out here. What's up there, Torigriba? How you doing there, my friend? Good to see you as ever. Yeah, so I think we'll keep her here for the time being. And what I could potentially do then is, let's see. Oh, that does remind me, I did have a question from Battling Geezer, I think it was. He asked me, well, he's asked me, how do you actually give these headquarters torpedoes? So basically what you do there, I can imagine Battling Geezer, you do watch this in the future, so speaking for the future. Yep, you go to your actual air fleet headquarters, and you go to torpedo ordnance, and what you can do here is you can enter a number up to 20, or if you hit this button here, so you take a look there, yep, you hit that button, it'll glow yellow. So what we can do here then is enter value of torpedo storage automatic limit. So basically, I've set that to 100. So they'll automatically try to have 100 torpedoes. I think each torpedo is something like 200 supply or 20 supply. I think it's 20 supply, something like that. It's a little bit of supply. Obviously, it will add up, and there's a lot more about it actually. But honestly, without having the manual on me at the moment, I can give you all the details. But that's how you roughly do it. It doesn't explain every part of it, but yeah, that's how you do it. If they can do it, they can do it. I think you need to have a certain amount of supply, amongst other things like that. Okay. So we'll be seeing our new engineers over here soon. I'm glad you're doing good there, my friend. Okay. See, I have these really... Yeah, these 3 fast transports over here. These are great. I think what I might go ahead and do then is move one of these base forces. So we've got the 4th base force and we've got the 2nd base force. I think the second... Yeah, the 2nd came with the 56th division, I do believe. I mean, it would be taking 24 engineers away from the island here, but then again, it does actually push naval support. Well, actually, no, I need that. Yeah, I need that here for the time being, actually. Never mind that. Okay, I do have the independent engineer regiment. It looks as if, yeah, so it wasn't actually able to be taken in totality. That's fine. What I can do here, then, is I do have you. I could take this element to the 24th Infantry. Yeah, okay. Speaking of that, I could do actually having a ship tasked to head towards Midway to go pick up more troops, actually. That would be quite good. I need to pick up the rest of that regiment. I mean, as for whether he'll return to Midway, he probably will. I mean, he knows he can cause damage there. Really, very little in the way of repercussions to a degree. But yeah, I think we have to take a risk. And in fairness, I do have the AMC over there at Midway now. It might be worth trying to take the risk to actually load up. I think it might be worth the risk. He knows the Oklahoma suffered, so maybe he might be a little bit reticent to do it again, but we'll have to see. Okay, I do have some elements here of the Maizuru 2nd SLF. Okay. What I'm going to do then is grab the 24th Infantry Regiment. I'm going to grab this Aviation Engineer Unit. Grab the rest of the 1st Independent Engineer Unit. I've also got this guy over here as well, grab him. Okay, it's either them or them. In fairness, I'll come back for them. Take them. There we go. Yep, there we go. We'll verify that load. So we're taking the 24th Infantry, the 32nd and the 2nd Aviation units there. There we go. So we'll have them loaded up. They're docked at the moment. So what I can do here then is we do have 2 destroyers in 339. We'll take the destroyers from 339. Very, very good destroyers there. Very nice. Very capable. Now the Kashai. Yeah, it's interesting trying to think of how to use them. And I could have her sent into the Philippines, so we could actually make use of her like that, but then she might come into threat. Yeah, I mean, we could have her sent over to Davao, actually. I think we'll have her tasked to go to Davao. She can actually pick up the force there from Davao, move them around, because we can make a great deal of use of them. I can just use them just to take these islands that are basically undefended, but just take control of them, really. It's never a bad idea, just actually establish that control. It does make use of her. Let's take a look at them. They do have a okay amount of AA. It's not fantastic. Maneuver isn't fantastic, but the endurance is really good. Then again, no, it's not a good idea. I can just use a goddamn transport, can't I? She's going to work well alongside AMCs, isn't she? That would make the most sense. I can just use her as a more powerful escort, to be honest, or just in other aspects, really. But I don't think it'd be worthwhile sending her out. No, so she'll remain here then. So just disband the task force. Okay. So we've got 2 tankers over here. They're loading up to go take some fuel to the Marsh Islands. Yep, you're loading fuel as well. I think what I'm going to do here then... let's see. The irony that I'm actually called Marshall as well, so that's rather fun. Okay. Now I could have stations possibly at Quadralane, possibly Roinmer. I mean, it depends really. I don't think I particularly want them there in the front though. No, we definitely don't. So what I'll do then is I can have this force actually sent down here towards... We'll have it sent towards Tulagi for the time being. I do have to consider threats from other approaches though, actually. Right. Okay, what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to take this replenishment force, but what I'm actually going to do is split off it. And I'm going to say... 2 destroyers. Okay, so they're going to head down to Lagi. Yep, so I head that way. Now what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to actually take this force of the to counter the 2 destroyers there. It's going to go out there and meet up with the actual landing forces. And we're going to start to go meet up. I mean, the reason why I'm doing this is because I do worry about the Bismarck Sea. We do have some reconnaissance in this area, but we don't know if it's not already something in the Bismarck Sea. We've seen forces slip by us in the past, and it could happen again in the future, actually. So we have got to be careful. Got to make sure that we don't miss anything. So I think with this force being such a high-value asset, really, it's got a lot of men aboard there. It does already have a pretty good, strong escort, but it could be strengthened further, and I think it's always a good idea to make sure we do that. Place another like heavy cruiser in there, another 2 destroyers, and that's quite good. It's already got 2 light cruisers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 destroyers. So it could bring that up to 2 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, and 9 destroyers. That's not a bad force at all, really. The real thing we want on station is our battle wagons, which is obviously the Mutsu and the Nagato. And what I could potentially do then is actually upgrade her Pete to Jakes, perhaps. We'll have to see. It could be done, and it might be a nice idea to do that. Obviously give them that increased range there. But yeah, ideally I'll be able to rearm her. She's going to be at track soon. So what I'm going to do then is tell them to auto-disband once they do arrive at port. And the reason for that is they can actually have some work done while they're in there. I mean, Mutsu is actually pretty good to go. If she can be rearmed, then that's brilliant. So there's a lot of armor. And it's very, very handy. You take a look at that. She was hit by an 8-inch shell, but didn't really do anything. It depends really where they're hit. Fuel ain't cracking here. What I'm going to do then is actually patrol around Nardi. In this sort of area over here. The reason being, if he attempts to come back this way, it'd be nice to try and intercept him. You're similarly low on fuel as well. I've got to be careful. I am in a difficult situation with fuel on the submarines here. They only have a limited amount, and this guy's going to have to head back next turn, really. Now, she can remain on station far longer. She's not bad either. She's got that time. Now, I could be Patron around Savai, but the thing is, I'm not really going to gain anything Patron around Savai. If he does go and land there, then it'll be something to potentially take into consideration. But as far as it goes, this unit over here really is here just to dig in. I've got them currently planning for Savai. I'll keep building up the actual planning. It'd be a case of if I was to actually change it to another target, it'd go practically to 0, probably 2-0. So I'll keep them planning for Savai. At the end of the day, they'll actually gain that bonus should anybody land on the island. Reconnaissance craft over here. Yeah, but on 100% search, they can't afford to do that. So they need to be on about, I'm going to say about 60-40 here for the time being. Reduce that fatigue down. You do have a reserve here. And you do have a 4th pilot. I don't understand why they're not taking it. But hey, okay. Right, some pizza over here. In fairness, I could probably have them upgraded. Right, give you another aircraft. Reduce that down. I don't need it that high. It is a good thing to actually have a decent amount of search around here. Yeah, I mean, especially by having it deployed forwards, it is very, very nice. I do have my aircraft over here at Niwatok. Now, they're currently still on training, which is actually doing them pretty good here. You can see their naval bombers are increasing. Defensive is increasing here as well. That's very good. I mean, some of them are losing experience, but we're going to keep them training. I mean, while they're not doing anything, there's really nothing else I can do with them. Just keep them training. Yeah, the Jakes over here. I'm going to give you some actual reserves. Give them 2 reserves. Now, if only I could actually get them here. And what I could potentially do, might actually be a good idea. But what I might do here then is, depending on the situation, is I can actually have the Jake fly to Wake Island and then have that squadron fly to Midway Island. Have the one from Midway Island head back to Quadraline or Truck or something. We can have it like increase in size or filled in really. But then again, I think it might be from a ship actually, so it depends really. There's a lot to take into consideration here. But what I'm happy about is the fact that at least we do have a sort of rudimentary network of naval search here to a degree. Like, for example, it's going to bring up the handy-dandy drawing tool here then. Make sure you guys can actually see that. Right, there we go. Yeah, so we have search over here. Search over here. Here, here. Obviously, many islands in the Marshalls. I've got, yeah, Wake, Midway. So I've kind of got something a little like that. So obviously you can imagine that the naval search is extending out here, which is good. I mean, that's obviously what we want to be striving towards, really. Okay. Now, what I might do here, then, let's take a look at what we actually have over here at Truck. So I've got G3M2s, I've got G4M1s, G4M1s, I've also got some other reconnaissance craft here that aren't doing anything. They can't seem to upgrade at the moment. Okay. It's a shame. They're still running naval search for me, so that's not a bad thing, really. Waste not, whatnot. You could do with more in... Yeah, you could definitely do with more. Kyosumi Maroon. Yeah, so for example, she could actually be moved aboard submarines, so that's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all, really. Really try to make use of them. Or even just fill in, like, different ships, really. Yeah, we'll have to go for that. She's on 50-50 here at the moment. I can't resize them, can I? Independent, yeah, that's a shame. But still, she's alive and she's here. That means that she's actually useful to me. Right. Now, what I'm considering here, then, due to the fact that I do have a great deal of G3M2s in the actual replacement pool, what I might do is begin bombing Rabaul. If we take a look, so we're about 2 days out from Rabaul here. It might be an idea, to be honest. It would be at the limit of our range, to be honest. What's the limit? 21 is obviously our maximum endurance. What's the distance to Rabaul? So the distance to Rabaul is about 17, which ain't too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. Maybe I'll do it on the last day. Yeah, we'll do it 1 day before they arrive, and then at least... Well, literally on the turn that they're going to arrive, we could do it then. Or, I mean, or do I do it now, and then obviously it's definitely going to be done. I just don't want to lose, like, lots of aircraft. I don't think he's got any fighters over there. I know he had some aircraft. But what I might do here, then, is... Let's see. We could go for a ground attack. I mean, do we go for a ground attack, or do we go for, like, an airfield strike, really? I think what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to put some of them on naval attack. Just for the time being, just to really try and ensure security in this area if we can do. Yeah, so I'm going to put them on naval attack. I'll put about, let's say, 20% of the squadron out there. 8,000 feet. What is their maximum operational distance? Okay, so normal radius is 17, so we'll put them out to 17 hexes. Right, there we go. So all G4M1s can do the same. There we go. You have the torpedoes? Yep, that's fine. I don't have many in the way of replacements here, so they're very valuable to me. Now for the G3M2s, obviously I do have more of those bad boys. So what I'm going to do then is actually give them another reserve aircraft. So, what do I count as a payload? It's only about 500 kilograms of bombs, really. So it's nothing spectacular. A ground attack ain't going to do terribly much. I know he has some aircraft there, so it might be that we could try and hit the actual airfield. Maybe. I mean, if I don't know, I could bomb his actual troops there. How long does a turn usually take? About the same as a Wall of the Eastfall campaign. Yeah, not far off. No, I mean, I spent a while on my turns because obviously I'm going over it live. It wouldn't take me as long if I was obviously making my decisions offline, just doing it as I was doing it, without having to commentate it. But I mean, that's half of the fun. The mistakes I make are mistakes that you guys don't have to make. And the glories that we share are glories that we share together. So that's always a fun thing. Let's try and decide what I want to do here. Let's take a look at the actual pilot experience. Ground bombing is actually really quite good, so that's not bad at all, really. Amen. Okay. And let's take a look. What is the size of the airfield here? It's a size 3 airfield, so it is very capable. I could try a port strike, really. I think that might be the way to take it. And what is our operational... Okay, so it's only 15 hexes though, that's the issue. So we would take more in the way of fatigue, and yeah, the aircraft aren't going to be happy. They can make it, but... Now I'm bugging it. What we're going to do then is we're going to go for a ground pound. I'm going to go in about 12,000 feet. I don't need it to be terribly effective to a degree, but and this is it. We're only dropping 500 kilograms of bombs per plane, aren't we? So we're not doing a huge amount of damage there in terms of weight, well, payload weight. I could hit the airfield, but if I hit the airfield, obviously it means I'm going to have to repair that airfield. He doesn't have a huge amount of aircraft there from what I last saw, just some reconnaissance flights. I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, they're quite good. But what I want to try and do here then is try, I don't know, almost distract him, just make him think, okay, he's just going to bomb the airfield, or is just going to bomb the troops there or something. I mean, even if he finds our troop convoy that's on the way, it's obviously going to be reinforced shortly, even more so. And what is he going to have in the area to take in? Hopefully not much. We've got our G4Ms that are going to be running naval attack in this area here. Obviously, they're running out to their maximum distance, well, to their normal distance, really, normal operational range. So that's going to be quite good. It's going to mean that there is more out there to actually help our forces. I do have some naval search over here from these aircraft. And this is good, I can actually give them a reserve here. Having a reserve is very important. It means the aircraft will go far, far longer. Okay, I'd like to have you upgraded, without a shadow of a doubt. Of course I can't do it here, but in the future we will look to do that. And I could even have them divided, which is very good. Very useful to have large units like this. What are these guys doing? Okay, they're just resting here at the moment. What do I have in terms of airfield space? Okay. What I'm going to attempt to do here then is I do have my KI-43-1Cs over here. I'm going to try and get them down south. Right. So the maximum range there is 30. And you're 35, okay. Tarawa's just expanded as well, actually. I have 52 aviation support here. Yeah, they'll be fine over here at Tarawa. Okay. I'll have them shifted down to Tarawa. I do have those Claudes there as well to actually use in the future. Yeah, so I'm going to have these guys shifted over to Tarawa. And then they're going to be shifted down to Luganville the turn after. Right. Maximum size of the squadron is 30. Well, what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to draw enough reserves. There we go, so I can have 4 reserves maximum then, that's fine. So they're still training, still resting. What I'm going to do though is yeah, they can't be training while they're out here, so I'm going to have about, well, say about, I'll go for about 40-60 while I'm here. I don't want to be caught napping, to be honest. Don't need to use the actual drop tanks here. Okay, draw one here. That'll fill the gap. It is going to be left behind while 2 days, okay. So then they can actually join us up once we do reach Luganville. So that's shot. Not too bad, we're just trying to really make use of what we've got here. I'm shifting the Ki-43s from the Marshals over here to Espirito Santo. Right. Put the actual planes from truck on naval attack. And some ground attack actually over Rabaul. Try and distract him to a degree, really. Okay, so we do still have our G3M2s over here, don't we? We're looking towards moving them. Now at Bangkok. Yes. Did he actually attack Bangkok last turn? I don't think he did. Now, what's the weather over Bangkok? So that could obviously be a reason why. Okay, we are seeing clear weather over Bangkok, so that's interesting. Right, you over here then. Are you loaded? You're still loading this element of the third... Yeah, the third air division. So they're going to be shifted over here to Bangkok, actually. Use that as our hub in this area. Or even potentially have it moved down to Qatar. But actually, can you turn the music down a bit? Sure, turn that down just a tad. It's on the same volume it usually is, to be fair. There we go. Yeah, so... we'll have that shifted down there. I could either have it shifted to Bangkok or I could have it shifted to Kuantan. If I have it shifted to Kuantan, is it really going to do me any good? So they don't have any engineers, do they? So no, it wouldn't. So what I'll do then is I'll have it shifted to Bangkok. At least from Bangkok it can obviously help out with the situation over there. Use it to try and launch raids into this area here if it's indeed necessary. I don't particularly want to do anything like that without fire to cover though. Right, so I've got zeros over here. He's aware that I obviously buzzed him over there with the sweep. 5-16, still waiting for that rest. He's still got quite a few fighter aircraft over here. These APDs, right. Still unloading over here then. Would expand in the airfield. I mean, I could do it expand in the port, to be honest, as well. There's really no reason as to why to not. Fortified as well to try and reduce any damage done by aircraft. Got my AV here as well. We do have a lot of aviation support here, if I remember correctly. Yep, indeed. We also do have 3 AA battalions, which is very nice. I do have some infantry here as well. Special Base Force 2. It's quite a well looked after base. Quite well looked after. 80 engineers. That's more than a lot of bases around the Empire. Yeah, 16 units of flak, 5 artillery. That's really good. Now I need to find a way to actually make use of this against Singkawang. He's got 3 bombers here. 75 fighters over here. He's moved his bombers somewhere. So I'm going to use my reconnaissance craftman again. So you're going to run reconnaissance over here at Singkawang. There we go. Okay, fatigue is building here, so I'm going to reduce that down. Can't resize them, unfortunately. In all honesty, I could potentially have them moved aboard one of the carriers, perhaps. Might not be a bad idea, really, just get them into action. I'll go for 50-50 combat air patrol here, actually. So all A6M20s are going to be set to do the same. I could sweep that base again, but considering there wasn't anything over it, it's probably not a good idea. That, we'll just use it as a sort of like... Yeah, we'll just make him think, okay, well, what is XTRG planning there? Why is he sweeping that base? What is he trying to do? Just stuff like that, really. Just try and play a little bit of a mind game there. Doesn't do us any good to just keep sweeping it if he's got nothing over it. If I do find something with reconnaissance, I can actually look at actually moving bombers to hit the base. That'd be a nice use of them. Right, so I'm still looking at a decent amount of escort here. So we know he's got quite a few units out here. So what we're going to do here then is we are going to go... we're going to go ahead and really just ground pound. I think that's a way to do it. Right, you're using drop tanks, you don't need to. Both are running 20,000 feet. You have got some combat air patrol over the actual base here. You're running mainly combat air patrol over the base. Okay, what I'm going to do then is actually work in that 20% rest. Then we'll have you escort over here as well. Now might be the time to actually use the Carrier 21 2A sallies. I could even use the KI-48 as well. I think we'll use them against that position. It's going to be the first time in a long time that we've actually had them all basically sally out. Now let's take a look at the mission that we did fly against them. Yeah, that was overclocked, so we'll have to adjust that. Yeah, so that was flown at 10,000 feet. The 1st Manchester Battalion. That's intriguing. They've only got 6 guns, so they've got F all really. 35 AFVs though. So what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to fly the altitude down to, let's say, about 8,000 feet. Okay. I'm going to hit this area. So set all Ki-21 2As to do the same. I'll make sure that they're all doing that. And it's going to be quite the excitement, isn't it? Let's go ahead and see what we can actually throw against them. Okay, so we'll be able to throw 67 Ki-21 2As against that force over there. Which ain't bad. What we're going to do is actually have 14th actually changed over to the 22nd Flotilla. It has cost me some political points here, but I do want to make sure that they all do coordinate as effectively as possible. The fighters are all going to be doing the exact same. They're all going to be escorting down there. Okay, you're down from 45. Kitabutais are going to be returning anytime soon to a base, at least not in the immediate future. So I'll grab the aircraft needed. Keep them flying. Yep, so you're escorting down there. Just have a full effort. Okay, yep, set all 6M2s there to escort. You're using drop tanks, you probably don't even need to, but probably not a bad idea to do that. Now then, I do have the Ki-48s over here. I've also got the Ki-43s over there too. So if I take a look, with bombers we actually have a decent complement there. Which are you going to try to take, India or Australia? I'll take the northern part of Australia, like such as the port there. But as far as it goes with India, India's going to be the one that's easier in a in a decent sense. It'd be easy in the fact of, obviously, we have a connection to it via land. Obviously, Australia doesn't have as many men, to a degree, but it's obviously much further out there. I mean, we could attempt to conquer Australia, but I think India would be obviously the easier and more preferred one. But we'll see. And we're not at a point where we're going to be conquering either or at the moment. Parts of Australia could be taken, but a full-blown invasion of Australia would be something that we'd have to really put together a couple of divisions for. Which might not be a bad idea to do, but obviously at the moment in time we can't think of doing it as of yet. We're going to take the Dutch East Indies and finish our conquest of the Southern Pacific before we can think about taking anything really from the mainland. But it's a good idea. It's something to contemplate, really, think more over. Okay. What I'm thinking here then is I do have my Ki-48 and my Ki-43-1As. I'd have them move down this turn, but I'm not going to do that. Not yet. What I'm going to do here then is have these guys... Right, come off for training. Okay, there we go. Ground attack. 8,000 feet. I'm going to really hit this force as hard as I can. So all Ki-48s. You're going to escort down there as well. There we go. So we're going to have something like 100 odd bombers actually hit this force over here, about 8,000 feet. I'm sending all my fighters. I've got the K-43s here on the front line as well to go escort as well, which is good. And the good news is obviously with them being so close, it's going to be very handy. So what I'm going to do here then is... I'll transfer you back. Yeah, you can go to Malacca. Okay, that plane will be repaired shortly. Right, there we go. Then what I'm going to do is actually have them sent to escort over here as well. Yeah, it should be a very interesting term. There's going to be a lot going on. Ideally, it turns out well, but we'll have to see. Right, 30% rest there. Let's take a look at our forces then. Yeah, so I've got some AA set up already. We will have another unit ready tomorrow, the unit the day after. Everything's moving. They don't have far to go either. Plenty of engineers. The divisions are here. All of them moving south. This unit, okay. Do I actually have anybody who's moving south as such? Right, the Yokosuka have to stay here due to the fact that I need them available to recombine. The 55th Cavalry, 143rd, yeah. So everybody's going to be moving at the same time here, which is fine by me. It means that when we do get down there, it's going to be an entire block of units. Now, it does look to be, I think that's just jungle, as far as I can tell there. It's either jungle or clear, but I think it's jungle. Possibly something of that nature. So what we need to do here then is we need to move in hard. And we will take Mersing this turn, which I've wanted to say that for a very long time. But yeah, Mersing will fall to our forces this turn. So we'll have that under our control. Which is good. So then what I can do then is actually begin to march from Mersing down onto Johoburu. Possibly. He's got 184 guns over here, which is a decent amount of guns. I've got 45 here and obviously a much smaller force. And over here we do have nearly 3,000 guns, which is actually nice. A very nice amount of guns there. Obviously, 553, yeah, 533, sorry, armoured fighting vehicles. He's got 60 here, 35 here. Obviously, he's got a decent force over here, actually. Yeah, 39,000. 380 guns. So we do vastly outnumber him in terms of artillery. And some of those guns could actually be represented by the coastal defense. So that's something to bear in mind. 173 armoured fighting vehicles as well. The best case scenario is he stays in this area. And there's what, 38,000, just shy of about 40,000 troops there in Johoburu, basically on Malaya. He's going to have to make a choice. He's going to either have to pull out now or remain. If he remains, he might be able to still get out, but the thing is he's going to be delayed if I can get to him. If he leaves the base and I'm not in the area, what I'll do is I'll land paratroopers there to take it. But we'll see, really. In either way, the war over here in Malaya has been vastly sped up, really. Had we not encountered that unit on the rail line along here, then we would have been down here much sooner. We would probably already been marching on Johoburu now. So it's a shame. He got lucky there, but he worked for that. He did a good job on that one. Whether it was intentional or not, he did a good job. So I'm going to hand him that one, really. But either way, can you tell if he's building forts in Singapore? I'd be shocked if he wasn't building forts in Singapore. There is going to be a lot, yeah, there's going to be a hell of a fortress over here at Singapore. But the thing is, we have, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we have about 3 engineer regiments here at the moment. Some are bigger than others. These two are quite large. Yeah, 68 engineers, 10 engineer vehicles, 16 Imperial Japanese Army engineering squads. Yep, I mean, they're important. They're going to be the ones that actually break down the fortifications over time. And what I can do here is it's going to be this initial shock attack. So what we have to do then is basically pull everything we have at this one spot here and then move it over. So like at the moment I have over nearly 2,000 assault value. Obviously I still have assault value moving its way down there. What I need to do is just, for the most part, get it all gathered up together and get it all shifted in there. Okay. So I've got some elements of the Naval Guard. So I can have them move south as well, to be honest. There's no reason not to. Just try and get everything down there. Though, actually... I could potentially use them over here, so I don't know. Nah, to be fair, actually, while they are here, I'll get them moving down south. Is another 1,000 odd men back I can actually use, isn't it, at the end of the day? Okay, shipping engineers. Yep, got my 22nd Air Flotilla over here. Doing me a good job. The transport aircraft are going to be very handy. At the moment they're training, you're transporting supplies to Malacca, you don't actually need to do that anymore. So yep, just train. So just set them all to train here. More engineers moving south. Oh, they've actually arrived over here then, to Kuala Lumpur. Now Kuala Lumpur has a size 2 airfield. Which ain't bad. Okay. These men are going to set up shop here. Then I can move in some aircraft. Yeah, but I do have another regiment and another naval guard unit over here. Obviously, they've got to march to Tamala. They were the ones that were taken off the rail line. The artillery's marching north. Yeah, I've got these elements that are moving south as well. The Royal Thai Army is moving north. So we're gathering the Thai Army over here, actually. Okay, that's an element. Yep. So the Thai army is moving north, as we can see over here, Thai divisions. So what we're going to then do is actually have them used to capture these bases, actually. Capture these bases and begin to move up over here. And begin to take the perimeter of Burma. Yeah, return this line to Thailand, aka Siam, really. Then we'll begin to push on here. Now, as far as it goes in China, things are going well. We'll have a battle here then, obviously. They're set to bombardment, okay. Right, that force is obviously moving. I'm going to have them try and make it over here, actually. So, in reality, what I could potentially do then is if I have this mixed brigade. Is it mixed brigade? It is a mixed regiment, yeah. So, this mixed regiment can be moved to this crossroad over here, actually. Indeed, a long march for Thai soldiers, but it keeps them busy, actually. It's like with the house rules, obviously I can only have them used about 3 hexes out from their national borders, and so it's kind of limited on what they could potentially be used to do. But in all fairness, I can use them to garrison. So that works for me. It's useful and it allows me to move Japanese troops out. But indeed. Yeah, what I'm thinking here is if I can have this unit actually move up to this crossroad over here, behind... Well, yeah, behind Nanning. Between Nanning and Luchao, what I can do then is actually prevent him from reinforcing one or the other or retreating in one of the other directions. And if I cut that off from the road there, that is actually cut off then, so that's very good. Okay. Ah. 7355, yep, get them marching. Now, it does need a garrison here. I could have them shifted on though. Let's have a look. Unfortunately, I can't divide that unit. Yep, okay. See, I've got an engineer regiment over here. That needs to be moved out of here ASAP. That's a very good unit. Okay. The 102nd Regiment forms the 51st Division. So some forces over there to Canton, Amoy, Fouchao. Yeah. Okay, so I could either have them picked up, but I do need the engineers first and foremost. They are very good. Right, 1,368. Quite cheap to move, actually. And what do you think THG's next move will be? It's going to be interesting. So there, residents. Yeah, I'm kinda, yeah. Stream on Twitch and upload to YouTube, really. Maybe the odd occasional YouTube stream. But it's not as if you guys are missing out on anything, because at the end of the day, it's all you have to do to watch it live is just open up Twitch. It's all the same functions and stuff. But obviously, it will still be uploaded to YouTube anyhow, so you guys can see it whatever it's going to be. Yeah, going to be, really. Just trying to make it as easy on you guys as possible, really. Okay, so the question. What do I think his next big move will be? I mean, from what we've seen in the past, we know he had carriers around. Well, we'll say around this area he had carriers in here. Obviously, he struck in this area. He struck rather recently over there with some of the actual carriers. So, what we're saying here, like, what, four CVs over there, the USN. We know that Hermes is over this way. Now, of course, the British will have more carriers in the near future. I'm not entirely sure when they arrive, but it won't be too long. Though the beauty of the Dutch East Indies is, for the most part, what we'll be able to do then is just basically turn this into a wall. So the British Royal Navy is not really going to make a difference over here. If it does try to move into the Dutch East Indies, we're going to use our air power just to rebuff it and destroy it. First one is around right now. Okay, yeah, so we'll have another CV sometime soon, which is still, yeah, it's going to give him a little bit more to use there. But it's going to be on the wrong side of barrier, really. Right. Well, I mean, this is it. The British carriers are survivable, quite survivable. I mean, I can understand the actual philosophy of it, really. It's a case of, well, if you can't produce that many carriers, obviously you do want them to survive, really. But yeah, we'll take a look at this. So, obviously, there's going to be like 1 or 2 CVs over here in the near future. Now, as far as it goes, what we're doing here, then, and obviously this is why it's such a difficulty for us, is we're going to be establishing control of Rebel here shortly. Actually, I'll use a colour that's better. I'll use yellow. Okay, so Rebel will be ours shortly. I've got control of the island chain down here. So Guadalcanal, Tulagi. I've got Luganville over here. Obviously, it's only just gained its first airfield. We need to really get up to a larger airfield, but it will be done soon. Funafuti's over here, Tanova's over here then. Also, we do have Midway, we have Wake. So, I mean, I personally think what he's going to be doing then is, let's say, yeah, because if we do strike and we do take control of New Caledonia, it does give me something of a chain here. As we said earlier, and as I showed earlier, really. I have Savai over here. Now, Savai isn't part of the chain. It's really been irrelevant for the most part here. Now, what I need is actually to take control of Savai fully, and what I mean by that is actually having engineers here. Then what I want to do here then is control Lord Howe Island, Norfolk Island, and Raoul Island down here. And then if I can connect that to the chain, it's all about trying to encircle and cut off, really. Now, as far as it goes for Fiji, its time will come. Its time will definitely come. And I'm going to have the 56th Division over here. They're obviously going to take Raval. I think what I might do then is actually have maybe a detachment or 2 detachments shift over to Port Moresby. I could have a detachment potentially head down south this way. I could even use a detachment to take like Pago or something of that nature. Really trying to soften up the area in preparations for a advance on Fiji itself. Because that's it, really. Like, Fiji is going to be a very difficult target. Obviously, he's going to have a lot of time to fortify it. He knows what's coming. He knows what... well, he's going to know what's going to happen. But the beauty that we have, and the thing that we have on our side here, really, is the fact when we do get around to Fiji, we're going to be in a very different position to when we started our crusade for New Caledonia, really. But what I think his move's going to be... I mean, we've already seen... we've seen cruiser raids from Australia, which, yeah, have been a interesting take so far. He's caused damage, and it's a shame that we didn't absolutely destroy him with a battleship force, but obviously they held him off, they did cause damage, we did sink some of his forces over there. Not all of them, and obviously the Kitabutai didn't catch them on the way, but that's fine. His force is probably going to be around here in Australia, somewhere around there. We've seen a second force heading out here now, which is obviously in this area. Now, it's going to pretty much go the same way, I can imagine. He probably causes a little bit of damage, and then he might lose a couple of ships, if not all of his ships, ideally. Which, yeah, fair enough, it causes a delay. But obviously with the Kitabutai, obviously so very close, he knows the Kitabutai is very, very capable of dealing that damage and destroying his ships there. And I think he's prepared to accept that. I think what he's trying to do here, then, is really delay me in this area. So I think he's seeking to delay me here. Now, personally, I think he's possibly had a carrier or 3 carriers heading down here. If they're not already here, they might even be potentially down here. I kind of think his carriers are in this area. More than likely, this area is where they're going to be. More than likely. The only other explanation as to the lack of his carrier's presence is they could be attempting to move up here to the Kurils. Well, not to the Kurils, sorry, to, well, towards Sakhalin, yeah. I suppose it would be the Kurils. Yeah, to the Kurils. And if he tries to take the Kurils, obviously that could cause a lot of damage. We are going to be fortifying that area. We've already got some groundwork being laid to actually fortify that area. Mostly like moving, increased... Yeah. Yeah, he'd more than likely base B-17s there, but yeah, he's got to get the aviation support there. And if he did go ahead and base B-17s there, you could be sure as hell, obviously, I'd pull the gaps out to get a amphibious force there to take the island back. So I don't think it's something that's going to be feasible for him, really. I think the most he could probably do there is potentially launch a strike force, a sort of carrier-borne attack, or he might potentially have surface raiders go into the area and cause me issues, really. That's like the second plan. There's always the case when he might even go for potentially... And I'd say here, it's getting a little bit cluttered. Another possible point of attack might be straight on from Pearl Harbor onto the Marshalls. He could always try to potentially attack Truck. Now, attacking Truck is a very interesting one. He'd love to do it. He would love to do it. I can... Yeah, he definitely would. He could supplement them with supplies from Alaska. I mean, he could, but yeah, he wouldn't. He wouldn't really. I disagree that he has initiative. I really don't think he has initiative. It seems that way because he's obviously launching attacks that we have to respond to, but in reality, we're the ones who are launching into this area. He can delay me, but he can't stop me. So obviously he's had these little cruiser raids come out of here. He's always got forces around this area, but he can't stop me. He's not on launching the attack, he's on the defensive here at the moment. He's reactive, not proactive. This would have gone significantly better had I had the experience I do now, but obviously we have to learn and grow as we play the game and learn the game. So the next actual serious invasion will be far stronger, which is good. I suppose in some ways we've had some time to learn with other islands and other areas, but this is where it all comes together really. This is where we're going to learn the hard lessons. School of Hard Knocks, as they call it. once we come on to take in the Fiji area, things will be different. I'll take a branch out of the Americans book, really. Take the islands around it, basically take everything around it, isolate it as much as possible, and then begin to actually pound it into submission. The good news is by the time that we actually do come on to attack in Fiji, we are going to have large airfields in the vicinity that I can actually use here. So that's going to be good. As far as it goes for the Dutch East Indies, the time is nearing when it draws to a close. Mindanao will be wrapped up within the next 2 weeks, I can imagine, depending there. Obviously, I did say, I expected maybe a week. It depends really on the resistance. He does have a fair resistance at Cagayan, but we do have a fair force over there at Cagayan as well. So what we'll do then is wrap up the Philippines as we go. It is not terribly a priority, as it's not huge amounts of resistance. We're marching on to Bataan now. I've got the 4th Division that's over here at Naga, just waiting for them to unpack, and then we can have them split into 3 detachments, and we can begin to hit Borneo. At least the south end of Borneo. Which is going to help us project power into this area then, in a real way. I know it seems daft, but it's like Midway is an important island. It's both an important island, and it's both the most important island, and it's both the most unimportant island at times. It's strange like that, really. It does have uses, and to ignore them is to really ignore opportunity. Soon we'll be able to begin basing legitimate search aircraft out that way. At the moment I've only got 1 there just to reduce the actual casualties, should it be raided again. But a couple engineers over there with plenty of time and nothing else to do can really begin to fortify that island. So it's interesting, really. I mean, it stands very much like its name, Midway in the Pacific here. Of course, it does have Pearl Harbor there. We do have Kwajalein and Roidema. We do obviously have the Marshall's truck not too far away. So it's going to be a very interesting case, really. I think it's going to be one of those of, is he going to attempt to seize the island? And I think, I mean, personally, I think he's going to ignore it for a long time. I think he'll ignore it for a good long time. And then I think there will come a point, well, he's either going to ignore it for a long time and then take it in the far future, or he's probably going to see it as a opportunity to attempt to draw me out. And that's kind of what I want him to do. I want him to go for Midway. Now, ideally, I could try to, well, if I could have some fortifications there, that'd be great. I wouldn't respond with carriers, but it would be a good idea. It would actually give us a good idea of what the enemy has, and what I could do is obviously use submarines and the ilk to actually try and cause damage. Getting some midget submarines over there wouldn't be a bad idea, actually. And if I could get some mines over there, potentially, from submarines, that would be quite nice. Try and mine the area to a degree. It is going to be interesting. I mean, it's one of these of... when it comes to the American carriers, they are extraordinarily dangerous, sure. But they can't be everywhere at once. We have shifted a lot of our actual power from the Marsh Islands. A lot of that has been drawn back towards Truk and the other islands in this area here. So as long as we remain basically light on the ground in this area, and then also we'll be light on the ground here in this area to a degree with shipping once we have concluded the invasion of New Caledonia, he's not going to be able to draw too much in the way of blood. So that's quite good. Just pretend it's a high diver. I realise I should have done the water down here, but it's close enough. Pretend it's a pool, actually. Yeah, it's a pool. Indeed. Okay. In China, things are going well. And this is a theatre where obviously Japan never really lost, to a degree. Never really won either, but at least we're not going to lose. We can keep on pushing this and pushing it harder and harder. Does that need a garrison? It doesn't need a garrison. It's got some fortifications. Even worth building fortifications. I'm going to say no. I'm going to have this unit move out. Have them move to Luoyang. Okay. I mean, once we actually address the resource situation over here in Japan, then things will be significantly stronger. Let's take a look. So I've got this unit over here, the H6K4s. Yeah, these guys are transporting the 11th Air Flotilla. They're being moved over here. Yeah, we've got an element of the 11th Flotilla over here already. So 408 troops, that's an additional 32 aviation support. So the Horo is already benefiting from that. Fortifications are being built here. The reason being, I mean, what's the actual terrain type here? Clear terrain, okay. I do need to fortify Hokkaido to a degree, because obviously we can't really afford him to land in Hokkaido. And this is the sort of stuff that we have to actually consider, really, is the long term. And there is a very definitive case for him to potentially deploy here in Hokkaido. So we'll bear that in mind. Yeah, you're right. We still have operational superiority at the moment, which is good. Oh, I think I need to rephrase this. THG can achieve strategic superiority. I mean, this is it. I mean, obviously he can... I mean, it's a difficult one to answer, like, as it goes for strategic superiority. I think he's always going to have that due to the fact that we are but one nation fighting a great collective. We're fighting the British Empire, we're fighting the Dutch, we're fighting technically the French, I guess. We're fighting, obviously, Australians, or New Zealanders, basically the Commonwealth, and of course the United States of America. And then to a later degree, obviously, we'll come in conflict with the Soviet Union, the Chinese were already fighting. So we are surrounded on all sides by enemies for the most part. As far as it goes for strategic options, it's about buying ourselves space in the Pacific, really. I mean, it's very interesting. There's a few AARs on the forum, actually, where basically people take everything that would have been sent towards the Philippines and they have it basically marshaled and sent over to Pearl Harbor. And you can take Pearl Harbor. It's very difficult. It can go very, very wrong, but it can be done. And that effectively creates a dead area for about 2 years. But the result is much the same, really. Eventually, the Americans do gain enough power to roll the Japanese back. Obviously, having taken Pearl Harbor, obviously that caused him a lot of issues. It'd slow him down to a great deal. But the inevitable would be the same. It's really all about trying to buy time for the home islands. And trying to stockpile those resources, trying to make it as bloody as possible on the Americans as they advance. And what I'm trying to really buy time for is actually to get my R&D up to scratch. If I can get some advanced fighters out there, then we might have a better time fighting against these carriers. And it's just really, if I can get aircraft such as the B6N1, I think it is the Jills basically. I think there's a torpedo bomber variant, but basically the bombers are obviously they can carry torpedoes and bombs, that sort of stuff. Just really try and keep Japan functional. We could try to fight back. We're going to have to very much pick our battles, but we'll have to see. I need to make him fight for islands. And of course he can attempt to bypass islands, but like the best way I can explain this is, for example, okay. So for example, we'll take a look at this this area over here. So New Caledonia, the New Hebrides Islands, and Espirito Santo. Now, New Caledonia by itself could be just isolated, destroyed, picked apart. What we need to do, because obviously it has a huge amount of air power, what we really need to do here then is have, like, let's say all these bases in this area. If I can actually have my air power spread out across these bases over here, basically have a interlocking chain of bases that can support each other through air power, then we can actually really cause them a lot of issues. It's like if we lose fighter aircraft, I can replace them. To a degree. It is harder for him to replace the carrier-borne aircraft. So we do have an advantage there. We basically would be fighting from unsinkable aircraft carriers versus a very much sinkable aircraft carrier. So that is our advantage. We have to really try and push that aspect. It's an interesting case. I mean, it's one of these things of where, I don't know. Where do you start and where do you end, really, when it comes to actually discussion of tactics and what is the future, really? Yeah, American production is insane. Like, the Allied production is going to obviously swamp us, but the thing is, it's got to actually be in the place that matters for it to matter, really, to any degree. It's all well and good having millions of men and millions of tanks, but if they're not in the right spot, they don't do that much. Okay, so I'm happy with things down here. These guys are going to continue to unload. I'm going to set their home port to Banap Island in case. So then low threat threshold at the moment. got this submarine obviously patrolling this area here. Oh, I'm fully aware he will not run out, but that's fine. In some ways, it's almost like it's producing VP for us. Oh dear. Plenty of engineers over here. Yeah, building that up. Obviously, I need this to be a level 5 naval base. Level 6, level 7 would be great. What size could you actually build up to? Ooh, not that large, actually. I don't know, we'll build up as large as we possibly can, really. Right, our men over here are to just remain and rest. Of course, we can't win a war attrition. We can't win a long war to a degree. But like the Japanese obviously wanted to inflict as much pain on the Americans as possible, we can do that. There are ways for us to win through the VP. What I'm going to do here then is just make it so goddamn difficult for him that maybe we could try and win a VP victory, really. I suppose in some areas the best way to win is almost not to fight. What I mean by that is, obviously, if we limit the amount of engagement he has with us, basically limit the offensive axes he has against us as much as possible, then at least we can try and just, I don't know, match him to a degree. It's going to be trying to match him in the operational assets. So I think this is it. If we can maintain operational superiority, i.e. try and match him, like match him in the air, match him on the ground, match him at sea, then we can try and win battles like that, really. I suppose this is it. It's like, we're fighting the Hydra here. If we can keep cutting off our heads before they multiply too much to overwhelm us, then we can probably try and keep it manageable. I don't think there's any sense in rushing Burma. We'll take Burma as it comes, but it's not going to fix anything. It's not a magic bullet, and in reality all it is just engaging men in a war of attrition. That's not going to gain me that much at the moment. The time for Burma will come, but obviously China is far more attractive than Burma. We were already gearing up for that. These men are obviously going to march towards, well, they're under rail lines towards Bangkok. They're going to take these bases over here. And then once we do take Singapore, and we do take Sumatra, so I'm going to have to look at what I can spare, but I'd much rather have these forces used to expedite the conquest of the Dutch East Indies than actually to go into Burma. Burma helps with China if you can keep Rangoon a road to China, indeed. I mean, what we're trying to do here, then, I mean, it's already in the works here. This one is actually far more doable than the Burma road to a degree, because it's already underway. We already have the men available here in this area. And so what we're going to be doing is trying to conquer these chain bases over here and then make our way up over here. What I want to try and do is try and pull this off in a rather quick fashion. And the good news is this is his last rail line over here that really matters. He's got another one over here. Yeah, I mean, of course that's what we're going to be doing. It's hard to say, really, because obviously we've got to do things first. It's like we're looking, I mean, we're not, what day is it? It is January 16th, 1942. It's like, can you imagine the Japanese saying, right, okay, it's January 16th now, 1942, but what am I going to be doing in 1945? Of course, I should have been thinking like that, but it's hard to say on an operational level how things will turn out. I think we will have definitely the time here to take China. I reckon China will fall within the year. I think that can be done. Just gotta make it happen. And taking Luoyang, in some ways, was it worth it? Was it worth it to take Luoyang? Remember, the American production is split up, especially early on. They're supplying 2 theatres on their own, plus supporting the Brits and Russians, plus equipping the Free French. I mean, for the Japanese, it's one of these, really. I think the reason why they lost the war is because they fundamentally didn't understand their opponent. I think they honestly expected that the Americans would bow out of a long war. And you can understand the reason behind that. They thought of, okay, inflict tremendous losses here, or as tremendous as possible losses here to begin with. And this is it. It's like the Japanese wanted to fight a limited war, But once you declare a limited war against a power such as the US, it's not a limited war, it's a total war. Yeah. I think the Japanese did have a lot of nice things going for them. They had a lot of bad things going for them, a lot more in the way of bad things. But in reality, I just think it's that misunderstanding of the opponent. You can't do something and expect a limited war from the opposite side. And obviously, if you don't get that limited war from the opposite side, then yeah, they're just going to give everything to crush you. If you can't do that, you're going to lose. Indeed. Okay. In all honesty, there's not that much here to do in this turn. I've been having a little bit of waffle there. It's nice to always have these forces try. It's for my well, for my good as it is for you guys as well, because always we're gonna have a little bit of a deep think about the campaign, how we're feeling about it, really. I don't like those submarines being so close to the actual coast there. I'll tell them to go safer if possible. Oh no, okay, they deem that safe. Yeah. Half tempted to mine this island over here, but I don't want to be doing that. I'm just going to mine these islands if I can. Okay. Two days until they're fully ready to go. The SLF, right, okay, we need to get them moving out of here. Mountbattens all well and good, but obviously you can't move them there very quickly. Venice, I just march them to Manila. No, I don't think it particularly matters. But we'll just take a quick look at the actual roads. You march there. There we go. To Patagones. Direct route. There we go. Right, these engineers. I think they've only just arrived here, so that's fine, yeah. Combat engineers. Sorry, construction battalion. 40th Army. Yep, plan for Bataan. Everybody planning for Bataan here. They are marching on to Bataan now. In fact, I mean, this division's kind of beaten up. Okay, I tell you what, we're going to cancel the movement onto Bataan. The reason being, these divisions aren't in tip-top condition as of yet. Yeah, cancel move order for all units. Set all to the same operations mode. Barring the engineers. The reason why I'm going to have them halt is because, frankly, I need to actually build these divisions back up. Yeah, I mean, 49 are missing here, which isn't too bad. But I mean, the other division here is lacking 137. Now, I'm sat on a base here with a lot of supply. I do have a headquarters over here with a decent amount of support. So it's going to give it a couple more days just to rest them. And then we'll march on Bataan. It gives us the time to plan as well. Just a couple days, but if it means I actually do have more men available to march there with, then I'll be happy. Then what we're going to do here then is attempt to take engineers, take artillery and bring it down here. Artillery is going to be the key to breaking Bataan. Same as with most things really, it's just artillery, artillery, artillery. Okay, we'll cancel these raids. They need to step down. Actually, how are they looking? Not as bad as it first seemed, actually. Damage ain't too bad. I think what we'll do here then, I mean, we could have a little while to rest, actually considering the fatigue there. Okay. Oh, there are other options here. Gagayan is 13 hexes away. See, their range is 12, isn't it? Shame. He has aircraft over at Cebu. Hello there, Sadako. Yeah, I'm playing the ally. Sorry, I'm playing the Japanese. Goddamn it, you made me say it, man. And do we have these characters who want to stand down, or do I use them to actually ground pound Cebu, for example? Could easily be done. He's also running reconnaissance aircraft in this area too, as well. Just to show that they're just out of reach at Kagayan. Obviously, yeah, obviously those bombers could have been doing quite well there. What do we see here? A few men there, isn't there? It's a Saturday night, indeed. Okay, what I'm going to do then is I'm actually going to ground pound Cebu. So okay, 21's going to hit that area. I'll have the actual fighters over here then obviously do that. 43 1Bs, that makes sense. Right, yep, so escort them over Cebu. Hit that son of a bitch hard. Okay, take this character one from over here in Shanghai. Right, transfer you to Clark. Obviously, you're going to combine there with your group. That's good. Fine by me. I mean, obviously, yeah, the US industry is always going to be an issue. There's no two ways around it. The USN is going to be absolutely colossal. But there's nothing I can do about that. Obviously, I'm going to have to just nip away at it, but I can't stop him building it up. So, it's a case of, why worry about it to a degree? Why over-worry? We'll take it as it comes. I can't do anything else about that. So, we'll just have to take it like that, really. We'll manage. Okay. Yeah, I mean, frankly, we have no other way. We have nothing else that we can do than manage. And that's what we will do. Gotta try and turn this into a pretty solid defensive line. I need to try and keep the war out here than rather out there. I think he uses his cruisers. I think he uses his destroyers willy-nilly because I know he will get more. He knows that. And it's like, I can understand that mentality, but the thing is, it's like, well, wouldn't you have more of them if you actually preserved what you had already? It's all well and good throwing everything away, but look at the Soviet Union. It's like, even if they had men to replace it, even if they had equipment to replace it, it does eventually take its toll. Yeah, I mean, the carriers are the things he will replace to a degree, but not massively so. I think, yeah, it's like, it seems, he's not definitely comes to his carriers. He knows that he needs to avoid engagement with the Kidabutai. But the thing is, it's not the Kidabutai that's actually going to be the one to probably deliver the death blow to any of his carriers, really. I don't know if we'll ever have carrier-on-carrier action, at least in 1942. Maybe we won't. Ideally, we won't to some degree. I will countenance actual direct action against his carriers if we're in a position where they are in a vulnerable position and I do have good odds. But as far as it goes, I would much, much prefer to use ground-based aircraft to attack his seaborne aircraft carriers. The reason being, well, I can't have an island sunk while he can have his carriers sunk. So it's like a game of chance. It's all I need is one. You know what I mean? Like one shot to make it through. It's like hitting the Death Star line. All I need to do is just hit once. Yeah. Well, this is it. I mean, we're only like a month into the war here, so he's also been quite smart with his movement. Okay. Now, what I'm going to be looking towards doing is actually having another squadron converted to KI-43 soon, actually. Need to really ramp that up. But the good news is we're going to have better aircraft out there at the front where we need them, which is important. October 1942, your squadron does enlarge. Okay. I might have this one upgraded then, actually. Experience there is a bit rough. It's growing, thankfully. Yeah, there we go. Just going to keep flyers training. Have we had any new aces? No, we still got Kamihira as our only ace here. One day he will be joined by more. But yeah, the air fighting has really reduced down, petered out to a degree. He's got all his fighters over Singapore, which is interesting. It's like, I can understand why he's doing that, but like, what good is it going to do him, really? I'm not bombing there, so he can just, yeah, let him do that, that's fine. Means his fighters are over here, really, which works for me. And we're going to be launching a large raid against this unit over here. It's not the largest unit, it has practically, it only has 6 goddamn guns. So I don't imagine he has much in the way of AA. So what I can do is I can just absolutely destroy that force from the air, really cause a lot of disruption, cause a lot of fatigue and destroy it. Yeah, I mean, our pilot pool's taken a unfortunately large blow due to the fact that we did have some bloody issues earlier on in the campaign. Like, I did make some mistakes, and just through not understanding mechanics at the time, that saw us lose more bombers. So he's been lucky on that one, really. But then again, I'm not going to get too salty, because at the end of the day, it's like he's probably made mistakes that I benefited from. So it's fine. We'll just assume it's a bit more realistic, really, where people do make mistakes and things do go wrong. Economic warfare is where we need to win here. I mean, thankfully, we have been doing very well here. We've been doing well with our submarines so far. If we can do well with submarines throughout the entirety of the war, we might be able to, I don't know, cause more issues for him. That would be nice. Right. Let's see. I could turn engine production off for certain models, but I'm actually going to leave it for the time being. The reason being, I want the actual economy to sort itself out. I don't want to like artificially enhance it to a degree and then obviously cause more issues. The most daunting thing about GG games is there's so much micromanagement. It's awesome though, Cold. It is awesome. I'd say build more submarines. I mean, this is it. I wish that we had the ability to actually build more things as such. I can only build what's already in here, unfortunately, but we can accelerate it to a degree. We have the 2 fleet carriers here being accelerated. Arguably, some would say don't even bother to accelerate them, but we've had them accelerated for a while now. Might as well keep the investment going. So we'll have the Junyo or Yunyo, how the fuck you pronounce it. Yeah, should be ready soon enough. I'm not going to stop the Yamato class. They will be useful. Okay. To be honest, I think we are pretty much done with the turn. I really can't think of anything else I can potentially do here. Most of the stuff's already underway. Alright, so I've got a large force out here, actually. Quite a large cruiser force. Not a bad little force there. Yeah, we've got submarines being produced. I can only build them when they're actually available to be built, really, unfortunately. Right. I mean, this is it. If we had the ability to, say, start the Yamato class and start building, like, more Congo class or something like that, or something of that nature, more heavy cruisers, then I'd love to do that, but we can only really prioritise what we have. I've prioritised the fleet carriers at the moment. I'm still going to build these super heavy battleships, because they're not going to take that long to actually finish, and then once we have them, we have them. And I can actually make use of them as an actual sponge to absorb damage that would be inflicted upon the carriers, really, for the most part. Their massive guns obviously would come in handy for bombardment. I think it'd be better to have them than not have them. Considering the fact that we lost Haruna as well, I do need to make up the battleship gap even more. And this is it, but you look at the Japanese and their carriers, I mean... it got to the point where the carriers just didn't have enough aircraft or didn't have enough pilots. Obviously, a pilot pool is the issue as well. If we had a larger pilot pool, then obviously we could sustain more damage, but we do have a decent pilot pool for the moment. Obviously, just need to considerably increase that, which we are doing. We've got a training program in place that should help out. But I think I'm pretty much happy with the way things are in this turn here at the moment. Can't see there being terribly much else to do here as of now. These forces are going to be loading up, which is good. Yeah, I'm pretty much happy with this as it is, to be honest. We did pretty much input almost all of our orders last turn, so I think it was only just down there south where we really need to change anything. Patrolling this area. And I might have another go at them, another crack at them. Though I think you are damaged more than it is worthwhile to risk, actually, so we'll have you return. Yeah, but you're going to head back to Trunk. In some ways, the Japanese carriers were very well designed, but obviously, yeah, there was a lot of issues with them. There's obviously a lot of design issues as well, as you point out. So they're good and bad. But obviously, there were bad aspects that, and this is it really, they were kind of designed to not really take hits. Yeah, they weren't really designed for actually taking the actual attacks, really. I guess they're still loaded over here, which is fine. Right. Right, okay, so 1,231 troop load there. Yeah, damage control is very poor, you are absolutely right. I'm just going to the Kagi Marute. You can take 1125. It's a shame that I can't take the entirety of the force there as such. Unless I have them loaded on in transport, maybe I can. Maybe we can manage that. Hard to say. I mean, there's only one howitzer here, it's just pretty much troops, really. I'll have them placed on strategic mode, actually. We'll see how long we have left here, but if I can actually have the troops loaded up, I'll take them off the island. These engineers need to, yeah, combat mode. There's only going to be a couple engineers, but that's fine. Just get them building. It's going to take them a long time to do anything, but it'd be worthwhile having it done. Okay. For the most part, the submarines are returning over to this area, so I can actually have them reorganized, refitted, and then we'll send them back out where we need them to be. Okay, honestly, I think we are pretty much done here with the turn. I can't see there being anything much here to do. It's a case of just the turn ticks on by, really. We're engaged where we need to be engaged. So, yeah, that's been taken here as well of that order issued. Now, I could have them move up this way. We'll have them move up to join their fellows once again and reform the 104th Division. The yeah, the division over here will be formed up soon. Let's take a look at you. Okay, you're docked up, that's good there. So what I need then is obviously the elements of the 48th Division. Though saying that, I did say I would wait for them to be loaded up here, yeah. So we'll have them loaded up here, then they turn Pescadores and we'll have it loaded up and detached. I could even have them there, but yeah, it's one of these really where... Well, actually, let's take a look. AA. There's also the 65th Brigade over here that can move. Yeah, it's just a couple of days really for this division to be formed up. It's a case of, what's the point really taking all these troops down here to have them merge? I can just take them. Are you going to start pushing the East Indies? Or are you going to push into the East Indies? We're already pushing into the East Indies. We've got plans in place for that. I think he's going to be potentially risky, but then again, I think it's this, like, obviously he's always going to be doing something a little bit more bold than obviously the historical precedent due to the fact that he knows the future. But we'll see. It's really how we react to him and how we can really try and maintain things. We'll just have to see how it goes, really. We'll have to see how it goes. Yeah, of course he's going to feel safe enough to gamble, but I think the push to the south, I think it is going to cause him issues. I think he's going to laugh it off, but I think it is going to cause him issues in the long run, to a degree, if we can actually sustain our presence there and really use it to push on him. That's what we're going to do. So, we'll see how it goes next time with the actual cruiser force there, that destroy force down there. See what we can do about it. Ideally, things turn out well. But we'll have to hope for the best. Okay, 100% night search here. Do I have them run at night or in the day? Actually, that's the question. Let's have you run day operations. I'll increase that to 20% actually. I'm going to reduce this down to about 15 hexes. Right, you're down to 10 hexes. Actually, we'll reduce that down to about 10 hexes then. Yeah, the reason being, like if you take a look over here then, so H6K4. This blue ring is now the operational radius over here then. Obviously, this is the area that we need to be concerned with. It should mean that we have a better chance of actually getting on target here and finding them, really. Okay. Yeah, it's only January 16th, 1942. So all things are to come, really. All the things are to come. But I think we'll call it here, actually. And it's been a little bit of an uneventful time. It's been a lot of, like, waffling on, but it's useful waffling. I do hope. It does come in handy. I think in some ways it helps us to focus what we're doing here, really. Okay. But I'm going to call it a night here then, really. I think we've done everything that we can do. I do definitely need to get fuel into this area. We've got the tankers loaded up fuel, so soon enough the fuel will be down there. So that will be quite good. Fuel in Espirito Santo, fuel in the Marshals, and just spread it around, really. We've got cruisers moving down south. And speaking of cruisers, I do have this force over here. Will you be able to sustain the South Pacific? I will if I can get the aircraft down there. Logistically, once the fighting is done, I'm not going to be drawing as much in the way of supplies as I once was. How much do I have here in Saigon? That's a lot of resources. Is Sazuya ready to go? No, sorry, the Maya. Yep, she's ready to go, that's good. Okay, we'll move the destroyers out. Cruise speed, she does still have a lot of flotation damage there. So she's going to be tasked with heading to Hong Kong to undergo repairs there. Yeah, potentially so. Okay. Disband that tanker. Disband these ships that are useful. Okay. Everything else can load resources and then we'll take these back to Japan actually. Take those all back to Japan, make use of them. Aircraft don't use fuel, they use supply. It's the ships that use the fuel, really. Okay. Yeah, Japan has pretty poor damage control, you're right there. Which is why I'm not taking a chance on actually running them on cruise speed. Okay. You're heading out into the Sulu Sea, that's fine by me. We'll try and soften up the area, really. Try and be a bit more proactive and aggressive. In all honesty, I might have the Armada detachment just move aboard the carriers. I could have you transferred aboard Zuiho, actually. Ryuju. Oh, Ryuju. Ryuju? You got 18, yeah. We'll put you aboard the Zuiho there. Yep, there we go. Increase the amount of combat air patrol over the carriers there. Actually, with some more competent aircraft. So it brings us up to 122 aircraft now. And this is it. I mean, it's going to look like it's weak position, like shaky, because it is shaky at the moment. But it really depends on what the hell does he actually have to bring against us. I mean, he can sure send, like, service forces, but the thing is, once we get established, as we are established to a degree, looks like the fight over Comac is going to become fiercer now. In all honesty, I might even go for a deliberate attack this turn. Yeah, they've got a bit of fatigue there. What I'm going to do then is actually tell them to begin a actual full attack. Question is, do they have supply enough? Supply is required is 213, okay. So what I'm going to do then is they're going to launch that attack there. I'm going to have some supplies transported in from Luganville. Yeah, B-17s and P-38s, but we'll have aircraft to challenge those in the future. Obviously, we'll have better aircraft than what Japan did, so we'll be able to challenge that to a good degree. Okay, so I think we're going to call it here. So I'd like to say thank you so very much there, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I do hope you guys have enjoyed that. And of course, if you have enjoyed that and you would wish to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a subscriber today, actually. Really makes a massive difference. And of course, follow the channel here on Twitch and on YouTube at XTRG. So I'd like to say thank you once again. I'll be sending this over to my opponent, THG, and let's hope to see what the future brings to us. Hopefully it will be good. But if it's not, we take it and we continue forward. Even if I was to lose every single man at sea out here by Luganville, we'd still continue. There's no two ways around it. We just have to adapt. We always have to adapt, we always have to remain positive as well, and persecute the war to the best of our abilities here. So I'll see you guys later, and indeed see you there on Discord there, Torigrima. Thank you so very much for your support, my friend. See you guys soon in the future. Goodbye for now. Have a beautiful night, or even a beautiful day. Whichever you choose, goodbye for now.